And hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I'm Colette. I'm the art director of RFM, and joining me are Tony and Eddie. If you could please introduce yourself, guys.
So I'm Antonio. I'm the game director of RFM. I'm also work at Bromio as a programmer and a lot of stuff, but mainly for RFM, that's what I do.
And I'm Ari. I do a lot of stuff right now. I think the most important thing that I do is, just do some balance and numbers. And some other times I make effects and everything for the game.
Yeah, that's
I mean-
kind of.
Is it me or is there something wrong with your camera?
Yeah. Kind of oh, it's back. Your camera used to go like that.
Yeah.
Somehow.
He wanted to have like this mysterious side of him like, showing on the stream, probably.
Yes.
I'm laughing because of it.
Mysterious going on.
I mean, it looks like it's fixed right now. So
Yeah.
let's go on.
He's back
Let's
with-
go on.
He's a real
Yeah.
person now.
Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
a good.
The server party started.
It's a good start.
Very
Okay, so.
mysterious.
We're gonna be talking today about a little bit of the art of RFM. On the last stream, we talked about how the game came to be, about what kind of inspirations we had from previous prototypes, from previous games we tried to do to get into the next game for Bromio. We show a lot of the concept art for those games. We explain how like every little aspects of those games, even when they are not really like RFM, some aspects carry on the game that is now. We also talk a little bit about how the game progressed from the start, like what things were useful or not, what things of the art style we were liking, where we were running into problems. We actually mentioned that we actually had another side of RFM where you were exploring the world and moving, but it never worked as we wished to, so we scrapped that on the game. So yeah, like that, it was all of these like previous efforts of what we did to came into what it is RFM now. Today we're gonna be talking more about the characters of the game, a little bit more about the lore aspects of the game as well. We're gonna talk about how the characters came to be, the art style from them, and everything around the characters itself from the game. I hope you enjoy this little chat we're gonna have.
Yeah, it's going to be something pretty chill, just some normal
I
development
mean, for
stuff.
being a really chill chat, we were talking like we were in a classroom or something,
Yeah, let's just relax.
Let's all chill a little bit.
All right.
So, yeah,
Sorry, I'm very professional always.
we're all very formal.
So
yeah,
what do you want to talk?
Wait, before we start, for anyone that hasn't seen RFM and doesn't know what it is, RFM is the new game we're making. It's roguelite with this strategy / action elements on it. You are this mercenary that's trying to find out what's going on with a weird dimension where you can like go into, and that's where like all the game is gonna be. Uh, we're gonna be talking more about the story in a few minutes. But yeah, like this is a small gif of the game. I think Colette, you can put the trailer just really quickly to showcase
Sure,
a little bit more about what is the game itself.
That is a great idea. Give me just 1 second and I will do just that.
I think you had it on the few. Oh no, I think you don't have it on the slides. Yeah.
No,
So
it's a pretty quick fix.
yeah, so like on the trailer it's this. Okay, let's do the trailer, and then we'll
Here
talk.
we go.
Trailer
Let me
time.
do something pretty quick. Ooh, let's look at it.
It doesn't have any sound, but I'm gonna explain what's going on without the sound. Don't worry. So as you can see, like we have this uh, grid style based game where you're gonna be moving and putting like using different skills to defend one point in the room, like that. It's called a stabilizer. You're also gonna be able to like equip different skills. You're gonna be able to grade them with these things that are called mods that you're gonna find on your run. After you lose a run, you're also gonna be able to buy different upgrades. So your next try is gonna be you can get farther away with new abilities, new like quality of life things for you to make your life easier, basically. So yeah, that's like the core loop of the game. We're probably gonna have another stream later, another point to play more about play more of the game so you can see it in action. But yeah, today we're gonna be talking more about the characters, the lore, and how like they came to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be something pretty chill, definitely. So yeah, let's go back to this. And here we go. And we're back. What a fancy transition, huh? Wait, here it goes. So yeah, like last time we were only talking about the whole process of the design side. And as we were saying, we're going to talk a little bit more about the characters and all the stuff that we did to the process that came to develop them. So I guess it would only make sense that we start with our main character, and that would be Morgan. So yeah, at the start when we were like doing all of these parts on the character design, we were really unsure what we wanted to go with. Like we were, as you can tell in the older on the first designs, we had this whole more of a, what would you call
Kind
it,
of like psychedelic, right?
yeah, a bit more psychedelic, a little bit more esoteric. Is that the word? I think.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit more like spooky, and there were eyes everywhere, and all this kind of stuff. So on our first designs, we had more of this kind of vibe, or because you can see all of these three guys. I'm going to disappear us for a little second.
Yeah.
And we're no longer appearing on screen, but now you can see the whole picture. And as you can see, these three ideas, is that the right word? Like we were going for something at first a little bit more mystical. Like it was this idea where the main character kind of had, like, if I'm not mistaken, like a demon in their arm, I think, or some sort of creature on
Was
that
it
world.
really? I don't remember that, honestly.
Yeah, I remember, like, we were
Was
doing
it a demon?
some. Well, it was not necessarily like a demon by itself, but like one of the creatures from that dimension. Like it would it fuse with their arms. So as you can see, all three of these uh, versions have like exactly these eye things in their hand. But we already wanted to go with this whole futuristic thing, so all three of them also have like a robotic arm. So yeah,
It's
it
really
was
cool.
like, yeah, like even like a flaming arm. Like no longer it's just a flaming sword. It's also like a flaming hand. All very badass and mystical and cool.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a bit too psychedelic, maybe. Like we weren't like, I remember like some of us, I think like three of us on the team were working on like what's the word? Um, like versions
On
of Morgan, like maybe what could work. So we were like all the three of us were making our own sketches to see what would stick better with the group. Like, oh yeah, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I remember when we were looking at these ones, we were like, oh yeah, these ones are pretty neat. Like the way the characters look. But we definitely, well, at least I personally wasn't like too sold out on the idea of the eye hand. Like maybe the flaming hand was cool, but I think it was way too many eyes personally.
um, Just a little thing that I noticed that we went totally on the opposite side. Now, if you think about it, the previous monsters had a lot of ice, even floating ice, and now no
There's
monster at
no
all
more
has
ice.
any kind of ice.
Yeah, maybe it was something like that. Unconsciously, we felt like there was way too many ice. So what if no ice?
Maybe we can get back to the ice later
No.
on.
Maybe, but I would say I'm a fan of no ice at all. I think it's interesting that there's no ice. But yeah,
Uh,
like we. Sorry, Eddie?
no, yeah, yeah. This was more of a mystical kind of thing of take on the game. But honestly, I think it never really stick properly. We were never able to find a way to join that mystical side and the theme, the visual theme that we wanted to move forward. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
well,
like it. For example, I like the one in the middle. I like it a lot back when we started proposing it, but it never really came together, honestly.
no, not
Yeah,
at
So
all. Like,
yeah.
yeah, and we also like start to make a lot of changes on the environment. So like it wasn't like these characters didn't make sense in the new environments that weren't as esoteric as this one. So yes, we had to find uh another design for our main character.
yeah, like the whole what's the word? We kind of started like toning down the mystical side of the game, and we went a little bit more futuristic as a whole. So in the end, the ice just kind of like disappeared. But yeah, this stage has a pretty nice, interesting concept, and who knows, maybe we'll retake them some other time, as we were telling you guys in the last stream. Like, so even if some things don't stick on the first run, it doesn't matter because we already have we have all this stuff like on reserve if we ever need them from later on, like the dog stuff and the other mystical girl. Who knows? Maybe we can do something with that later on. It's never We can never know. And yeah, well,
Yep.
we were doing. Sorry, Tony.
No, nothing.
So yeah, like we were saying, there were some of these, and then wait, sorry, then we were having like a lot more sketches and a little more rough on the side. Like on a fun fact, these were mine. So as you can tell, I tend to do my sketches a lot more loosely. So it was a lot more like, see if maybe something stick. Like some of them were done a little bit more like in a complete way. But then we were trying some stuff, and this is the one that, well, the one in the middle is the one that kind of stuck with the whole team.
Yeah, I remember when you showed us the whole sketches of everything. I think that one was the one that's showing more personality and maybe like somewhere to go. Like I remember, like I saw it and I said, "Hey, let's explore here," and I think everyone else agreed.
Yeah, like everyone was like, hey, the one in the middle looks cool. Well, in the original picture it wasn't in the middle, but yeah, like the other ones just like they were there, they weren't that interesting, but the one in the middle was just like, it kind of struck a chord with everyone. And I guess it's kind of funny because I remember when I was doing this one sketch, I was thinking of, well, what's her word? Helga, the one from Art Hey Arnold.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember I was thinking of Hey Arnold at that moment, so I just did something thinking about like Helga's eyebrows and stuff, like the way she was always like very angry. So I just did like this sketch, and somehow it just, well, everybody liked it, so we started developing around that idea. That's kind of
So
a fun
wait,
fact, right? Yeah,
uh,
sorry.
so it's canon that thanks to Helga from Hey Arnold, we have Morgan,
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, at least the first idea
right?
of Morgan, it's thanks to Helga Pataki.
yeah. It's a very good reference. Like you wouldn't
No, no,
expect.
I mean it is, but
Pretty
it wasn't
unexpected, right?
expected. Like
Yeah, once
came
you see
from nowhere.
like the final design, maybe you can. It's a very like difficult to say that Helga was like the main inspiration.
Yeah, it's a pretty. But it was one of the inspirations. But at least for this particular sketch, I remember I was thinking of Helga in that moment. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like Helga exactly, but like loosely inspired on her, perhaps.
It has her character.
in this one, yeah, in the end, like Morgan doesn't really have like Helga's character, I would say, but at least in the first sketch we had that. So yeah, like we started developing around this idea, and oh, wrong slide, sorry. Oh, there's a lot of Morgans here, but yeah, we ended up with this one on the left side. From coming from this one, we came upon this particular idea where you can see the characters look like Morgan looks very angry in this picture, like a lot of the how do you call it, like the eyebrows.
Yeah. Like pissed off.
Yeah, like very pissed off, like the feeling of Helga's always pissed off, Morgan's always going to be pissed off, and it's a fun part. But usually when by default I usually draw my characters very angry, so they can just kind of like talk to Morgan at the same time. Like when we're just starting, like Morgan didn't really have a whole personality or anything at the start. It was just like, oh yeah, let's do something with this original sketch, and let's just like clean it up a little bit. And we went around with it, but in the end, like as you can see, we started like tinkering around with it. Uh, so yeah, like let's.
Yeah, and you can see on like the first iteration of the character, there's still a lot of the previous characters' colors in them, like very shiny, very uh still kind of having this esoteric vibe, but not as much as having like eyes on the hands, right? So, but there's still a lot of that into this the first design of the character.
So yeah, we all came like we kept the whole idea of hey the robotic arms are cool, so we always
Yeah.
keep that shiny part. But we started like removing the whole the hand was no longer glowy and green and stuff. We kind of cleaned up all that side, and as a side effect, you can also see like how Morgan stops being so angry during the process of the portrait.
Yeah.
It became more fashionista, honestly, as time went on, but less angry, definitely.
Yeah. Like maybe they didn't like their outfit at first, and then they were like, "Yeah, this is fine."
That could be it. Probably it could be the sign of the little I think it's called faux pas, if that's the right word, where they had like a belt and also suspenders. So maybe they weren't like too happy with that kind of outfit. So
Yeah,
we went a little bit more like toned down.
yeah. I
But yeah,
mean,
like
and the pants went lower.
just a little bit, not that low still, but definitely not so high anymore.
I think they're rocking the overall city suspenders, everything. It's pretty cool. Now that I see it again and I remember the previous iterations, yeah, they're rocking that. They're rocking that outfit, honestly.
So yeah, it's kind of a fun part on the whole thinking, like going a little bit more of a technical way. Like there's a lot of Morgans in here, but like well, when we were like working on all this stuff, we had this part on the a little bit like going overboard on details on sometimes, and then a little bit like first it was too simple, then we went a little bit too well detail happy, I guess. Like there was a lot of tiny details in the shirt and the hand and all that stuff. So during that same process, we just like went back to something a little bit more simple. But as you can tell, like the characters stick a little like a lot to the original stuff. Like quite some stuff changed, but it's not like a very big change in this character.
Yeah, I think we were just trying to new styles, different kind of like vibes on it. But like the main things from the character, the main design things are still there, like the robotic hands, the robotic feet, the burn marks on the body, like the hair. I think like we didn't redesign a lot of the character. Like we just redesigned it for something we were happy with at the end, but like the main core ideas of it is still they are still there, and I think that's pretty cool as well.
So yeah, it's kind of a fun thing to see like how we went from this particular Helga to this one in the right, which is the one on the right is the most current one. So it's a pretty interesting thing, like the whole process of designing characters. I'm a fan of it, definitely. But yeah, I
Yep.
think that would be like what we could tell about Morgan. I don't know if you have anything else in mind, guys.
The next slide is about another character, right?
Yep. Next one is, oh no, it's not about Morgan. Oh, who knows? It's more Morgan. But yeah, part of it, like this was the whole portrait side on the design stuff. But alongside that, we also, like, I don't know if you guys remember when we showed you a little bit of the stuff on here. Like, you guys remember how it was? Whoa, 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 whoa. That didn't, that, oh man. Just a little second,
Did you
please.
break
Oh,
the?
now technical difficulties.
There we
Everyone
go. It's
just
back. It's back.
okay. Okay, we're fine.
Oops,
I
I have
was
no idea how I went back in that. Perhaps I should. Oh, well, I'll be a little bit more careful with it. But yeah, you remember how we were talking about this old version of Morgan last time? How we were saying like, oh yeah, part of the sign, like it was not that easy to see the character in the scene. So at the same time, like we were like playing around with the style in the game and all of the portrait stuff, we also were working on the whole design on the same 3D model. So as you can see, it changed quite a lot too.
yeah, like we were having a lot of trouble like making the character on the stage be very clear of where they are. Because if as you can see, like the first 3D model is very detailed, like it has like more natural kind of frame with a real human basically, and a lot of detail on the clothes and on the hair and on the eyes, like everything. But once you saw it in the stage, it went just like really mushy, like you couldn't really tell with so many details what was what. So that's why we started to simplify the model, the 3D model, into something more like what's the word, like chibi.
Yeah, chibi could be a word that
I
works,
mean,
I
you
think.
can definitely describe it that way. I will say compact, not exactly chibi, but
Pocket
yeah.
size.
Yeah, a little more cartoonish, right? So we didn't want, like, we knew that having these realistic proportions weren't working at all, so that's why we tried to do something completely different.
Yeah, like,
I
and you can
think
see
I
like,
think
uh huh.
your main inspiration was the Final Fantasy Tactics, right?
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of the whole chunky look of the characters in Final Fantasy Tactics. Like they also have like this grid based combat, but the characters always were very clear, and I always found them really charming. And like the whole feeling when they did their own like their cutscenes and everything, like you didn't need to have like something more fancy because the sprites themselves, like the little characters, felt pretty like complete on their own. So it was very nice. I really liked it. So we went like, oh yeah, maybe we should try something a little bit more like tiny.
Yeah,
So we worked around with
exactly.
that, like no longer like those huge hands. And like for example, we like even simplified the amount of fingers on the hand because you would never see the character like very close front.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, let's just give the characters 3 fingers. Nobody's going to notice they have 3 fingers. But now you do because I just told you. But
You're gonna see it in game. I also remember that we were actually looking into different 3D models as well. I remember that we were checking out also Transistor from Supergiant, and we saw like the 3D model of Red, and it was also like a lot more simplified of what like the portrait is, right? So that's why we also went try to do something like that.
yeah, that's always like kind of a fun part on video games and stuff. We can like do this suspension of belief where we already know like even if in the game the character looks tinier, we know that's not the real character. Kind of like in Pokemon when you start and you can see like your own when you know that one screen where they tell you if you're a boy or a girl, and then you tell the character's name and then oh yeah, welcome to your adventure, and then you see like the normal like red sprite that's normal, and then it goes like tiny tiny tiny, and then you move that little compact version of your character.
Yeah.
So it's always a funny thing.
Um,
Like we definitely working around with that.
yeah, yeah. Like I think what we have now, it's works really well on the game. Like once you see in action, it's very clear of the actions it's doing, like different poses, the animation. So I think we are very happy of what we came out at the end.
Yeah, maybe like the road to get there was a little bit clunky at first. I definitely was
Yeah,
like
like
the
if
middle
you,
character again
if
kind
you
of
see the middle one, you can see like I always thought that he was like a
squirrel.
chipmunk.
Yeah, it kind of had like a chipmunk face,
Yeah, yeah,
the
it's
little
like
dot.
like all being retrofuturistic.
Oh yeah, the chipmunks. Yeah, it was kind of awkward, but like we work around with it, clean like fix like the eyes and the little the funny nose, and it definitely looks better. Like this face between this face, it's a lot clearer to understand. But that's part of the process, and it's always like the fun side of learning to see what we can do
Yeah,
with it.
and also like when you're doing the 3D model, like you also have to take into account like we have this isometric view on the game, right? So like we have to make sure that all the four different directions of that pose of the character are understandable. So it's a little harder than just modeling at like a good 3D model, right? We have to make sure that it works on the isometric view as well. But yeah, like the one we have right now, I think it works really good.
Yeah, also like fun fact during the design of the character, there was one point where we like mirrored the design to make it a little bit more clearer for the portrait stuff, so you can see like how everything was on the right side here, and then now it's on the left. But yeah, that was also kind of like a little fun fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can
So yeah,
see
you
like
can
this big difference on the characters.
yeah, you can see them on action like also like this fun fact about the middle one. I know you can see like the clothes are very different, but that's because we were trying something about having the clothes like as another 3D model of the character. You can actually see it on the GIF on the middle,
Been
like
out.
how it moves and it takes off its clothes. That's basically because of a bug where the clothes were moving with it with the 3D model. But yeah, that's fixed now. That's why we have the fully clothed fashion Morgan and not just on the blue.
Naked Morgan.
Yeah, yeah, like that sporty outfit.
Or the one
But yeah,
from
like
below that just like goes naked for a second there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, and you can see like it's way more clear like on the stage. Uh, like the character, you can like see what it's doing. It's way more clear for gameplay purposes, basically, and it's also a better 3D model as well.
Yeah, definitely. We're all very on board on the whole like tiny look. It's definitely a little more clear
Yeah,
and more fun to work with it like
but also
in a whole sense.
yeah, but also because it makes more sense with the enemies. I mean, from the
Yeah.
realistic Morgan with the enemies that we have, really didn't make any much. Really didn't
Yeah,
make any sense, honestly.
yeah, you can see it on the left one. Like the enemy is very like has almost no details, and Morgan has all of this on the model, like all these lines, all these effects, and like you cannot really like it. It feel like they're not part of the same universe, basically.
Yeah, not at all. But in the end, we came through, and we definitely did something that's a lot more better, like in the general sense. But yeah,
Yep.
after that, finally there's another character, and
I think before going into this character, I think we have to do like a whole speech on who is Morgan. Like we know it's the main character of the game. We know how the same came to be, but I don't think anyone on the stream knows what does Morgan do basically.
well,
Uh,
then
That's
you
oh,
could do me
without
the honors,
context.
please, Tony.
yeah, maybe you can go back to the slide, the portrait slides. Yeah, so Morgan, as we said, is the main character of the game. They're a mercenary that's exploring this dimension called the past. Basically, in RFM lore, like lore, the world is set on this 70s, 60s kind of like world that's very like futuristic at the same time. Like it's very retro, but they have all this new technology, right? Like Morgan has these metal arms, like uh, and this came to be because we are creating a world where the people were able to find like an alternative source of power that's called prana in the game, and that energy comes from another dimension, right? So this dimension is what the bust is, and Morgan is working as a mercenary uh, to explore the bus to find out more about it. They're on a secret mission that it's gonna be explained a little more on the game of what they're actually doing on the bus. Like they're working as a mercenary, but that's not the main goal of the character, right? So that's where we're gonna talk more about it on the game itself. But that's who Morgan is, and you can also see like from the design, like that they have these metal arms, they have these burn like scars on their body, and that's because an accident that came out to be before the start of the game, where like on this world there's these kind of accidents where the bus basically kind of manifests itself on the world, and it's like extracts energy from everything on around it, and that's where the accident came out to be, and that's why Morgan has these burn scars. He had to put these prostheses on their arms and the feet, and yeah, like it sounds uh, kind of complicated, but we're gonna talk more about it on the game. I don't know if you want to say more about this, Colette.
Yeah, well, you basically gave like a pretty great summary, but it's basically this idea where they live in a very, very dangerous world. Like the whole prana stuff, like they gave them really cool technology, and it's like improved society as a whole, like a lot. But at the same time, it's like a very dangerous place to live, where you never know when like you might just be on an explosion and randomly die. But it's kind of like their stuff. They're kind of used to that in that society. It's a harsh
I,
world, but they're used to it. Eddie?
I yeah, I would like to say about this character. I believe that Morgan is one of those characters that has gone through a lot of pain and a lot of things that didn't really go how they should go. But it's a very resilient character, and I really like this last image of Morgan, that he's quite quite content with the situation, doing the best that they can do, even with everything that happened to them. So yeah, I always seen Morgan as a very resilient character, emotionally speaking, and I think it's very proper for a world that can have this kind of accidents between because the dimensions clash, and a lot of people are always constantly in danger. This kind of positive vibe that manga gives, it's I think it's pretty core to their character. I always thought always thought of them that way.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And like adding up to that, it's just like a funny thing, but just like making a character less angry all of the time can really help with giving this vibe of being not so like a lot more like
Yeah. I
calm, as
think
Eddie
I
was
think you
saying.
always find. Sorry. Go on. I was interrupting you.
No, that was all. Don't worry.
I just wanted to say that being angry is like kind of the default for many characters, especially male characters, and that's not really interesting anymore, honestly. So I really like when they became more.
When characters smile.
Yeah, they smile more. So yeah.
Yeah, smiling characters are fun, definitely. But yeah, that would be like basically what we can tell you like as a short way from Morgan, and later on when you know more about the game, you will know more about the characters. Like from what I was going to say about the what's the word? Why we call it the for subscribing? Can you help me with that, Tony?
Subscribing, like, oh yeah, to our channel,
Yeah,
and or oh yeah.
exactly.
uh yeah. So like we're going to do more streams like this in the future, so be sure to subscribe to our Twitch channel. You also can wishlist the game already. You can see more about what the trailer, different pictures of the game, more descriptions. But yeah, like we're doing right now a rundown of the characters themselves.
So yeah, maybe on another stream we'll talk a little bit more of this. Who knows? Be sure to follow us and to be sure whenever we do something else like this. But yeah, like having this like as a small rundown about Morgan, we can talk a little bit more about this other guy in here, who I'm going to disappear our cameras again so you can see this picture better. And there we go. So yeah, this one in
Wow.
here is Thomas. This guy is your this one is Morgan's best friend, and also he's their um I'm trying to remember the word, like
Brother-in-law.
yeah, yes, but
I mean,
that's kind of a spoiler.
wait.
But yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That was going to
Ah,
say.
that's not a spoiler.
No,
Like,
it's
it
not a
kind of is a
spoiler.
spoiler.
what
Yeah,
kind of spoiler is that? Everyone,
It's quite a
it's a
spoiler.
spoiler
I
Thomas
mean,
actually.
is brother-in-law.
no.
That's kind of a big
Well,
spoiler. Yeah.
That's not a spoiler. Come on.
I mean, you're going to find it in the
Oh,
game,
well,
but
come on, come
I
on,
mean,
but
it is
I mean,
important for you to
you're
learn
gonna
it in the game.
you're gonna find it like in the first 20 minutes of the game. Like that's
not
not a
that
spoiler.
much. Not really, not really, but yeah, the ones that are on the street have been spoiled. Let's hope the other people don't learn about this huge spoiler later on.
Wow.
But the biggest spoiler in the game, Tony. Come on.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, he's Morgan's brother-in-law, and he's also he's also their best friend, and also their we could call it like a communications manager, if that's the right word. Tony, you say it?
Secretary.
Yeah,
It's
like
Secretary,
like
kind of.
like he's the guy in the chair, right? Like he's the guy
Basically, the
that's
guy in the
gonna
chair.
be yeah, exactly. He's gonna be like the one that gives you like this support from outside. Like he's not gonna come into the bus with you, but he's gonna be giving you support of the whole thing, like from the chair, right? Like that's the like uh
That's their thing.
yeah, that's the thing. Like he's the guy in the
Yeah, no,
chair.
but he's also the adult of the friendship.
That's debatable. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
But
like you
whatever.
can see like from the initial designs we were really into the like this kind of like more regular vibe. Like we wanted to do this contrast with Morgan. Like Morgan is very like how do you say it, uh like fashionable, like very uh it stands out a lot, right? Like the design of the main character. So we wanted to have this contrast, like where this guy is more like a regular guy, like someone you can find like anywhere. We wanted to like don't have like all these really fashionable characters everywhere. So that's why Thomas started a little more toned down than from the design of Morgan. Um, and yeah, like it also had a lot of changes through the time as well.
yeah, we were like having this whole of as Tony was saying, like we wanted to do something a little bit more normal. Like not all the characters in there have like crazy uh, multicolored hair and all that kind of super fancy kind of look. They're also like normal people, but we have like more of a normal vibe and all that stuff. Actually, the hair thing has something to do with the story too, but
But that's a spoiler, so we're gonna talk about that.
actually, actually that's less of a spoiler than the brother-in-law thing. But yeah, like Tony was saying, like the people who have like had like been in accidents with Fran and stuff, usually they will get like their hair color will probably change because they had been like in this kind of accident. So even if Morgan has all of this fancy kind of hair right now, they definitely look a lot more like a regular, normal human being in the past.
I feel like we're treading the line of a spoiler, like
Not necessarily. That's not
really
actually a
close.
spoiler. But yeah, we had like this whole of a normal guy vibe, but it was definitely going around on like maybe too much of a normal guy. Like we were doing this whole design, and I liked this design, but everybody else was like, oh no, he looks very he looks way too normal. He looks very what's the word, like kind of
which I would
non-descriptive.
say
Sorry.
aggressively non-descriptive.
Yeah, he was like too aggressively non-descriptive. I didn't believe so, but the others were like, no, he's too boring. Like he has no interesting details about him. So one day I kind of like gave him a beard out of spite. But then everybody else in the team liked it.
Yeah, it was perfect. Like the beard and the glasses give you very like a lot of this 70s vibe, right? Like very like old school kind of look.
Yeah, he went from being aggressively nondescript to being like aggressively 70s,
Yeah.
which is kind of a funny
That's
thing.
better. That's way better.
Yeah, it's for the best. I mean, I still miss the Thomas that didn't have a beard, sorry. But
He cannot have a bird.
he can have a bird too. I guess you could like a bird perch on his shoulder, kind of like a
Yeah,
pirate
yeah,
vibe. That could be kind of interesting. So yeah, it was like, all right, then I'll give you. Let me see if this works. Yeah, we were like, here you go, have a bird, and there was like, oh yeah, we love the bird.
I
So
think
he
it
went
looks
from
fine.
as we were saying, like he went from being like aggressively nondescript to being aggressively 70s.
Yeah, and I feel. I mean, it's not in character, but I feel like if if he was holding like some kind of glass of, I don't know,
Wine, whiskey.
not wine, something else. Help me here with some fancy drinks to Tony.
Some fancy drinks, like
Whiskey, maybe. Then
uh,
the
Some
whole
rum,
70s look will be complete, you know.
yeah, 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 bourbon.
some bourbon.
But also
Yeah, like a glass of
you
bourbon.
can't do
That
that.
could be it. But yeah, like I personally like the whole clean shaven look of it. But as I said, we just went like I gave him a beard on spite, and it just took off, and now Thomas has a very thick beard.
Yeah, like it helps a lot with reinforcing this 70s style, right? So uh, the glasses, the beard. I think that's really helpful from like to set up the setting of the game, right? Like this is a very 70s kind of look, and it works. I mean, we can still keep the old design for the like for all the past like cutscenes when we were talking about what happened before. We can use the
Could
other
be.
design.
That could be. But yeah, that's also a possible thing. Also, guess what? There's another like fun fact in here. I mean, if you guys have been following us the whole stream, as I was saying before, I tend to do the characters a little bit too angry on default, but you can see like also Thomas is a lot less angry from the past.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
now they're happy with their design. They're like, yes, this is the
Yes,
one.
I have a cool beard now.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I just wanna throw something out there. If anyone is being, wrongfully silenced by the bot, I'm still reading the chat, but I think the bot is deleting messages that shouldn't be deleted. So yeah, sorry about that.
We'll be working on that. We're still getting used to the whole bot stuff. So yeah, hopefully we can make. Yeah, that was kind of funny. But yeah,
Yeah, the bot stuff.
The robot stuff. The robot stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still working on that. Hopefully we can make it a lot more fun to be in the chat on the next streams.
All right. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
actually, like
that's
Sorry?
Thomas. You're gonna see more about him on the game. He's gonna be very close to Morgan. Like the whole plot of the game is gonna revolve around them as well. So he's gonna be next to you a lot of the times.
yeah, we hope you get to like his bearded self as much as the rest of the team does. But yeah, I think after that we have. Oh yeah, our good friend Juno. Now, you might all be wondering, like we were just saying, like, oh yeah, we wanted to do all of these normal humans that are very human-like and have very normal traits, and then we were like, but as you remember, we were talking about the whole dimension stuff and the whole being on the past and all of these weird creatures and all that stuff. So yeah, there's actually also like another mysterious dimension in the game where these people known as the Megini come from, and as you can see, they're way more alienish.
Yeah, yeah. We were trying to make it like very clear that they're not from the same dimension. But we also wanted to like these were like the first experiments, right, for the character.
Yeah, we were in this feeling of, hey, how about we do like an alien alien race? Is that the word? Something a lot more sci-fi, something mysterious, something non-human. So we started coming up with some fun stuff to do, and we were like kind of having like this feeling of, you could say it, a mix of birds, a mix of no, now actually birds and not beards, and a little bit of kind of like a underwater vibe, but also mostly the whole fungus vibe. I don't know if any one of you like know the. I think it's called the bale mushroom. It's an interesting, pretty mushroom, but yeah, a lot more weird alien stuff.
Yeah,
So
like if you remember from our past stream, when we were talking about the design of the enemies, we were talking about this like kind of underwater vibe, with this fungi stuff that Colette mentioned. I don't remember what's the name, but yeah, like we were trying to explore a lot more about that with the Megini as well, because they are from kind of like the same dimension, not exactly the same one, but they're based on that one, right? So like we wanted to keep the whole motif on the Megini themselves, so that's why we started designing these alien kind of creatures. And the concepts you were looking at a few seconds ago, they are from like one of the other main characters of the game, that's called Juno. You're gonna
okay,
see. You can go for the previous one first.
sure.
Yeah, so this is where the design was coming more for that character itself, right? You can see like different kind of like uh, tests we were doing to see what look we liked the most.
Yeah, as I was saying, we wanted to go with the whole fungus vibe and kind of like a bird, and also I guess a turtle would be also a good example. You know, that kind of a beak on their face. So we were like, oh yeah, like if they have beaks, there will be like a race of always smiling people, I guess. So now it's like no more angry anymore. It's all smiles now.
Can you go to the previous one really quickly? They're kind of angry on the first one. Maybe
Yeah,
not so
they're always
much.
like they're less
It would
angry.
No, no. I would use the word mischievous to describe them. Is that
Yeah,
the
that's
right way?
because the beak is always making them slow, but the eyebrows, they are angry.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true. Always angry eyebrows. Angry eyebrows are a lot of fun. I like making angry eyebrows, but yeah, these ones are not necessarily happy. Definitely, you can have like this one. Definitely, when they didn't have a beak, you can see they're still angry.
Yeah, yeah.
Until it was like, okay, yeah, let's add a beak, and then they're no longer like angry. Here I was trying to make an angry beak, as you can see in this particular slide. Oh, I tried to find that, but yeah, I think you can see my cursor. So yeah, I did try to give the angry beak a look, but it didn't work. They definitely felt a lot more awkward with the whole trying to give them like an angry expression. So in the end, was like a we embraced the whole happy vibes of them.
Happy's better.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes. I mean, I still miss the angry eyebrows, but yeah, even if like we went with the whole thing of, yeah, she's going, the characters going, the race is going to have beaks, so they're all definitely a lot more happy and smiley. Some of them still have like angry eyebrows, but they're no longer like very angry eyebrows. Like, and then we came up with the one in the middle is the one that ended up being our favorite one. So we
Yeah,
picked this one version in particular, and we just started developing it because the design here is rather wonky. Like the proportions are all over the place, and I really wanted to go with like huge necks.
yeah, like Persona next.
Persona necks, like all the way on the Persona necks. But then it was like, yeah, maybe we can tone it down a little bit on the neck. but this one in particular is the one that came through. So we were like, yeah, this one's good for Juno, let's go with it. And that's how we came up with this one, where you can see the neck kind of went down a lot. And yeah, just like with the one with Thomas and Morgan, we did a lot of tweaking around with the two styles in the game. But Juno has been one of the characters that has been through the most changes, definitely. Like, just coming from this
I didn't like her.
to that.
No,
She's
nothing.
definitely sorry?
No, nothing.
She's
Go
definitely
on.
been one of the characters that has the most design changes. We definitely went a lot more with the. We kind of started going out from the whole. I guess that was more of a turtle beak in the past. And then, as the comments say, yeah, we went a lot more chicken with the character, I guess.
I mean, it's cuter, I think.
Yeah, like the start. I mean, I guess in the past I was still holding on to the angry vibes because I wanted everybody to be angry. So like, oh yeah, she has a beak, but she can't be like very happy. Like she has to have like angry eyebrows and kind of like a unhappy big smile. Something around the line. But then in the redesign, it was like, all right, then let's finally embrace the whole happy, creepy big smile. And yeah, you can see like a big change between the character, aside from the whole as we were saying, like toning down on the whole detail part. But in general, you can see she's a lot more happy.
Yeah, and it's a
Kind of
very
different.
interesting design, right? Like the hair, it's based on this what's called in English. I think call it, the word, or maybe not.
Fungi, coral.
Yeah, like coral, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a coral stuff, and also like the whole as I was saying, like kind of a fungi, kind of a coral vibe, like in her horns. That would be the right word, I believe. They kind of have like this whole coral vibe.
Yeah, like a coral reef, exactly.
Yeah, all of the fun underwater stuff. We went a little bit with that, plus the whole, as I was saying, the mushroom veil thingy. Like it's hair, but it's not exactly like strands of hair. It's more of like a whole mush of a single piece of long of a long mushroom, if we could say like that. Kind of like with kombucha. You know what they call that thing? The SCOBY? I believe that's the word for the kombucha.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Is there
it's
any
called
way to
SCOBY.
translate that? I think there's no way to translate that.
Yeah, but I believe it's like SCOBY. It's also like an anagram of another more complicated thing. But that's the one I don't remember. I just know that, like, that kind of the long circular slimy thing you put on top on tea to make it kombucha. That
Okay.
thing. So it's like I don't know if anyone in the stream has had kombucha before, but yeah, like it's like a big mushroom and it's just like one singular piece that's kind of stuck to her head on, well, her scalp. But it's just one single piece that just like went like it grew along to get this feeling of being like normal hair, but just a single piece with a lot of holes. You can kind of see it a little bit better here. But yeah, make it like a long veil thingy, and it can give you that kind of illusion of it being hair, even if it isn't really hair. And we also played around with the whole outfit stuff. This is also like has to do a little bit with the whole plot thing, because as we were like giving a little bit more on background in this character, just as we had Thomas being the guy in the chair, and Morgan being, well, the mercenary. Here is a very, very aficionado on the human world.
Yeah, so they're like basically obsessed on all the human things. That's why she has this shirt, right? Like that's a shirt from the human world, basically.
Yeah,
I
she likes shirts so much. She also wears a shirt as a skirt.
how far away can we go with the description in order to talk about this character? Are we going to spoiler with it, or we can
I don't think
say
that was.
whatever?
I don't think that would be
No,
a
I mean,
spoiler.
yeah, it shouldn't be a spoiler. Like, in the game, there's gonna be different factions where you're gonna be working with, and you're gonna learn more about what they do in the world and this RFM world, and you're gonna learn a little more about the background of Juno. Basically, she was part of one of these factions, but she left because nope.
No, no, she's still in the faction.
Oh well, sorry. She's still in the faction, but she's like a more like a neutral contact to you. Like she's not gonna be part of the whole story of the faction. She's gonna be more like the link between Morgan and the McGinney war. So she's gonna introduce your she's gonna introduce you to their friends and like all the whole faction, and you're gonna be talking to other characters, other McGinney. So she's the link between the human world that Morgan knows and the McGinney world that you're gonna know through the game as well. So like you're gonna meet these different characters as well. You're gonna learn more about what the McGinney are doing, like what are the like uh, their inspiration. I don't know, like their objective in the whole this plot, right? So she's the link between Morgan and the McGinney.
And I would like to add just as a context that when we designed this character, because we wanted to show, we really ask ourselves the question. We usually see the things through the eyes of the humans, how the humans will see and interact with dimensions that they are not their own. They are basically alien to themselves. But what's the relationship of the other dimension towards the humans? And instead of just being content with making an adversarial relationship between these dimensions, we also wanted to explore the idea of almost an aspiration. And Juno is basically, I think, a character that explores that idea. Because she aspires, she looks towards the human dimension and tries to emulate, tries to imitate, and towards the imitation they try to understand what they're seeing, what little they know about the human world. They know it through remnants of technology and other things that cross through dimensions. So they have a very skewed way to see the humans, but they try to interpret that through a very positive lens, and and that's why it becomes aspirational. So that question was way more interesting than making an exploration of just an adversarial relationship between humans and McGinney. Sorry. Yeah, and I think the final design of the character really shows it well, because as you can see, it has quite a lot of human stuff, but it's very unique because it's their own sense of passion within what they can understand that the humans like. And I think that's fun. That's way more fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we're
definitely.
good.
Sorry, Tony.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ah,
Go
yeah, go
ahead.
ahead, please. Please, you go ahead.
Okay, so like I just want to say that basically, like in the game, like the beings from the other dimension are not like your enemy. They are just another faction in the world with their own objectives. So you're gonna learn more about them through the game.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to go with something more like, as Eddie was saying, something a little bit more fun, a little bit not as explore. Like they're not their enemies. They're not just they're different to you, so they hate you. It was more like, what if the aliens actually were interested in humans, but in a more like fun and curious way? And yeah, we definitely came up with something we believe it's pretty interesting, and we hope you guys like it when we come when you try out the game when it comes out.
Yep.
But yeah,
Okay. I think we're running out of time. I think we're gonna be talking about other characters on a different stream. For from here you can see more like we talk about the main characters of the game. They're gonna be like the characters are gonna be more present on the story of the game. That's Morgan, Thomas, and Juno. So they're basically like the main characters, and you're gonna be learning more about the plot with them. You're gonna learn more about the world with them. And I think we can save it for another stream. We're gonna be talking more about the next characters that are gonna be more like a neutral side of the things. They are not exactly your friends. They're not exactly gonna accompany you into this journey. It's more about like learning to work with them, basically.
So yeah, we hope you like this stream, and please
Yeah, remember to wishlist the game. The game is already on Steam. We have the page ready. You can wishlist the game. We are doing everything to finish the game as fast as possible. We will have more news about that in the
soon.
future. And yeah, like I hope you like the stream. I hope you like what we're doing with the designs. And yeah, I don't know if you want to say something else, Colette and Eri.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you
No,
guys like this part of the stream and you found the characters interesting, as Tony was saying, we in another stream we'll get a chance to talk a lot of the other characters if you guys like this whole part. And yeah, please subscribe the game, and we hope you enjoyed this stream, guys.
Yeah, thank you for watching and see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you
goodbye.
next time. Bye, everybody.